free you. You cannot be freed by five. And that means your five senses, gathering information, giving it to the brain, creating the sciences, developing the world, building the world. That's material logic. Material logic can't save you. Material logic, you have to die to your material logic in order to be reborn into the intuitive insight. Spirit represents, or the wine represents spirit. The wine represents spirit. You know, they call wine spirits, right? And it gives you a certain high or euphoric feeling, but it's just symbolic terminology. And in the Quran, Allah speaks about wine and the Jannah. You wouldn't think that wine would be in the Jannah, right? So wine is a spiritual concept that makes you transcend your material logic, and that's intuitive insight. So your and also the grapes are also red, right? Could be red, and red represents social life. Red represents the social life. Red represents the blood, and the blood represents the social life of the community. And what has to be freed, your social life has to be free to experience the spiritual life that Allah wants us to live. In other words, your material logic has to surrender to the spiritual social life that Allah established for us to live. And it's the religious life, or the religious community life is considered the spiritual social expression. Imam Muhammad also said that your life is not to be fulfilled in your spiritual aspirations. He says your spirit has to have a body. So the spirit has to be fulfilled in its social aspirations. The spirit has to be fulfilled in its social aspiration. And what is the social aspiration? The blood, the red. That's what the wine represented. But it's the spirit has to be free to live in the social environment. And if the spirit is free to live in the social environment, then you will have a just, righteous social environment. But if just the intuitive, if just the material logic, if just the mind creates the society, absent the spirit, absent the intuitive insight, then you're going to have turmoil, almost the same type world we're living in today. You see, so that's what I can get from that, using some tafsir from Imam Muhammad, and you know that blood represents the social life, right? And also they said when Jesus was killed on the cross, out came blood and water. So blood represents the social life. That's why they call the socialists or the communists reds, because they represent, their whole issue is establishing the social order, leaving out the spirituality. But the wine represents establishing the social order, but including the spirituality. Don't leave it out. You see, and when the two, that's why the material logic has to die, so that the social spiritual life can live. That's the one that was freed from the prison, you see. So all of this is symbolic in that, and it's just something that you offering for your consideration. And if we can look at it from that aspect, we can get some wisdom from it. So we know that we can't live a life, a social life, without it including the spiritual life. The spiritual life has to be fulfilled in its social aspirations. You see? In other words, the spirit has to have a house. The spirit have to have a wife. The spirit have to have food. You see? So they can't, you can't just, you just can't, and that's the society that the communists and the socialists were trying to establish. They were trying to establish a society based wholly on material logic, or how would they call it? They call it dialectical materialism. Go look it up. Dialectical materialism. That means they don't believe in the hereafter. They don't believe that there's a spirit in the body. They believe that that's it. You see, and they're trying to establish a just society just from the material logic. You see, or dialectical materialism. But if you include the spiritual aspirations, then the society is going to be just without you mandating justice. You see, justice is going to be the order of the day. If the spirit is involved, see, the fujur and taqwa. If the taqwa is involved, then justice is going to be the order of the day. But if you take taqwa out of it, you have just a mandated freedom that they're making you live. And if you step out of line, they may kill you or put you in jail. That's what's happened. That's what happens in communism, communist societies, and socialist societies. They want to, and Imam Muhammad said that's what the shaitan wants. The shaitan wants a society that's just and orderly. They want an orderly society, but they want to be rulers over that orderly society. So when you step out of line, they may kill you or jail you. You see, there's no freedom in that. But freedom is in the spirit. That's why when people drink wine, you see all the inhibitions go away. You may be inhibited. You may not be brave enough to speak your mind. But when you drink that spirit, you're gonna be free. And that's what it's symbolic of. So alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. So and that's just for your consideration. And you can't etch that in stone. Say this is it, this is what it's saying. But that's just something I got help from Imam Muhammad on that. So alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Let me finish the slides because